I always wanted to do something with clothing, home decor, anything that you can find your day-to-day beauty in. I saw these huge piles of clothing just lying on the ground, and people are coming and shoving it into these big trucks for them to take it away and throw it. I mean, beggars are not choosing. Lows to the point of actually shutting the whole brand and saying like, forget it, it's not going to work out because people are not understanding why just whites or why just basic designs.
Jhelum Bhandaarkar, the founder and creative director of Aion, is a product of Fidi, Italy. She has always had a keen and curious eye on all things rustic, beautiful, and aesthetic. Along with strongly believing in the beauty of everything handmade, handcrafted, and natural, she strives to empower the underprivileged by employing them in manufacturing these products as a genuine effort to give back to society. Thank you, Jhelum, for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Akanksha, for this lovely introduction, and lovely to see you again.
How did you sort of come up with the idea of Aeon? How did that happen? And how is upcycling a part of your brand ethos?
Everything beautiful just catches my eye. And since childhood, I always wanted to do something with clothing, home decor, anything that you can find your day-to-day beauty in. So after my studies, I actually studied Aeon, label Aeon with home decor products because that was the first thing that we were taught in our design school, more of objects and stuff. So I started with home stuff, mostly utility, and from there somehow we graduated. It was actually a very interesting story, but we graduated and then we started a clothing line. So that's how label Aeon got a separate identity with the clothing. And how sustainable is because as a child, growing up in born and growing up in India, it's imbibed into our sustainability, right from using brass vessels to stainless steel glasses. Our kitchens are full of bartans, how we call it in our Indian terms, handing over clothing to our siblings, younger siblings, to like very little things, but these are a process of us growing up. And I wanted to get those back into our living.
And why only, I know you only work with white. How did that happen?
It's actually a very interesting story. So, white are the whites that we use are undyed fabric. So we remove chemicals that are used. That is one harmful environment. Whites are something which are pre. Most of our whites are pre-shrunk. So that means after a product is made and worn, you will never like wash it. It's never going to be shrunk again. And white is something that is eternal. Like it will never style. It's always classic. So we wanted to put the niche and have that one piece of white, at least everybody's wardrobe, that will stand out and which is like a go-to piece. So that's why white. Our main reason was that we don't involve harsh chemicals, these dyes, and the processes that are used to dye these clothing and all are really, really bad. Like if and they even through these dyeing processes. So that is something which is absolute no for us. So something which is thick, clean, and elegant. That's why white.
So where do you source your raw materials from? And do you, in your sourcing, do you face any challenges while sourcing your raw materials?
Well, sourcing, like I said, interesting story. So a few years back, we were visiting a friend's factory. So who deals into fabrics and textiles for all these big, large brands, And while visiting the factory, we saw these huge piles of clothing just lying on the ground, and people are coming and shoving it into these big trucks for them to take it away and throw it. And we, something just struck us, like why is this getting thrown away? So we spoke to people there, and they're like, these fabrics are rejected by these big brands, so we have to throw them away. We cannot use it again. And it was like a shocker because so much fabric getting wasted was just not acceptable. So we picked those fabrics from there and we did like a pilot collection, which did really well. So that's how we started our sourcing. So we actually go to all the factories in Bhiwandi and in Surat now and collect these extra fabric that is rejected by big brands, And rejection for these big brands are like really, really minute details, like one black dot somewhere and they reject it, one little thread coming out and it's rejected, which can easily be incorporated in our design. You can cut it off or you can make smaller things out of it. Although it's not possible that 100% of the fabric is from there, because to get our styles into how they are and getting it into an actual product, we have to buy, purchase fabric. But then again, we consciously selected and researched these factories and little weavers all around the country. So now we get that 20% of fresh fabric from Jaipur. And that's incorporate those, like, from the waste fabric and the fresh fabric and make a product.
Was it easy to kind of build a relationship with the factories and purchase your raw materials from them?
Initially, people have laughed at us. They're like, Madam, andar jaake naya wala kharido. This is literally a language that we've heard like for maybe like 6, 8 months. But then I think over the period of time, there is so much awareness now. So now even the karigars in these factories, they understand this. So now it's much easier. Like now we don't have to worry.
And what is your design process? Do you start with like sketching them out and then going and finding the fabric, or how does it work?
So the design process is our principal designer, who's also my sister. She has a bunch of sketches already ready with the kind of fabric that she wants to use in them. Or our team sits down and we discuss it over what fabrics to use, what designs to be incorporated. All of that is already on paper, and then we go to these factories and then we see whatever is available to us, because um, beggars are not choosers. So we see like whatever is available to us. We then try and whatever comes closest to our design, incorporate those fabrics into those designs.
And it's a made to order studio,
It's
right? You
absolutely
make,
to order
right.
the piece. That is also one USP from our end, that we save so much fabric. We do not have these collections coming out every 2 months where we buy, say, 1,000 meters in advance, make an inventory of 500 pieces or 400 pieces, and then try to sell it. We get, say, even if we get like 300 meters, it's stocked with us. Our designs are made, the shoot is done, we put it all over, and then as per the order, we manufacture it. A lot of people prefer these days to give their measurements and then to get the piece made. So that becomes easier for us rather than just having a stock of extra small to extra large or whatever the sizing is and then just pulling one out and sending it off.
And where have you found your customers? Has it been through exhibitions, through online? Where have you found your
Online
customers?
has really, really been helpful. Websites like you guys and a bunch of others who really promote things that brands like us do. I mean, it's wonderful that how you guys got customers for us. So yes, the websites are one. Exhibitions. So we love doing exhibitions because that's like instant gratification, right? So is it, buys it, likes the material, likes the design. So exhibitions are one. Website, Instagram. I mean, although we may not be having a following of maybe a few lakhs, but whatever little following we have, those customers are our constants. So they come back to us and order from us directly from Instagram. So yeah,
In terms of the pricing, what is the response from the customers when they see your pricing? Is this something that, you have to constantly educate them about why you're charging the price that you are?
I mean, quite frankly, and we've been very lucky. That's not really happened to us till now. Maybe like in a few instances, you have to explain to them like because some of the ladies they're like, "ये तो बस white है, ये वो फैब्रिना में मिलेगा." So then you have to explain to them कि वो mass है, वो बना के रखते हैं. For you, this is like a special piece. This is upcycled. This is recycled. You are not harming the environment by buying this piece at this price. In fact, you're doing good for the environment and for the people involved behind this. So a little bit of education, yes, we all need it. But like I said, over the years, with so much awareness, people are getting educated, and it's a very good feeling when people don't haggle for a little price here and there. So yeah.
And how do you incorporate sustainability? I know that's something that's coming, it's very natural to you, and I'm sure that, it's beyond just the product, but every aspect of your business. But if you can just tell us a little about how is it incorporated in the other aspects of your business?
One thing that we started doing after the pandemic, like when the whole world was shut, but after a point we could still send out orders. we used to ship only once a week. So Friday was the day that we used to ship out all our products. So that saves on the whole process of the courier company coming on their bike and picking one order each day, because that was the state at that time. So we used to consolidate all orders, send it out only on a particular day, which we still try to do unless it's like really, really urgent. Then yeah, we have to ship it out. But otherwise, that is something that we've tried to follow since then.
And through the years, have you been able to ever measure the impact of of your brand in terms of how much textiles have you been able to save from going to the landfill?
Not in a measurable way, but I know that every single thing that comes into my office is kind of scrap. So I we haven't really measured how much we saved, but we know that whatever we've made is from the saved fabric or from the saved raw materials.
Tell me some of your the highs and lows that you've sort of gone through while building your brand.
There have been quite a few highs, quite a few lows, of course. Lows to the point of actually shutting the whole brand and saying like, forget it, it's not going to work out, because people are not understanding why just whites or why just basic designs. So the lowest has been that we've actually sat down and said that it's not working out, and without thinking from the heart, but just using our brain and thinking business wise, let's just shut it and it's fine. We can look at something else to do. And it have been, like how, like I said, we love doing exhibitions. So actually seeing our customer picking a piece and loving it and saying that, oh wow, this looks great. That gives us like a super high recognition from like known people, people who actually care about the environment. They coming up and saying that this is a great effort, like a small but great effort. Those are the highs. Yeah. We have clients who live abroad and who actually have access to the best of fabric, to the best of cuts, to the best of, everything that they want. So you will find reviews on some of our websites who sell for us. They have put reviews that, the fabric is excellent, the cut is excellent. So that just gives us a different kind of a high that, people who are knowledgeable and who have access to all this still find our effort to be like nice is great for us.
What's the one piece of advice that you would give for young entrepreneurs who want to start a sustainable business?
Just keep going. It's going to be difficult at the beginning. There are going to be too many challenges that you'll face, but just keep going, don't stop, because after a point there, if you're true to what you're doing, if you are there, I mean, if you can work hard towards your belief, you are bound to be successful one day or the other. So just keep going.
And how do you stand apart in this world where everyone's kind of running towards, what's trendy? And also in terms of brands, they have to respond similarly, right? They have to make products which they think will sell, and hence they follow trend forecasts and all. How do you stay true to your belief and your aesthetic, what you think is meaningful?
I don't think it's difficult. It's just how we now put our brains to getting those designs into life. Because initially, I know everybody thought upcycled organic means just basic cuts, really boring colors, really boring silhouettes which don't fall well, like like silk or something. But now it's really easy. We just have to put our mind as to how we can get those designs, how we can style those designs, and it can be done with the best of organic or linen or upcycled fabric. Having said that, it's not possible to only live on upcycled and recycled, because all over, I mean, over the years, we've not done that. And suddenly to switch is not going to happen overnight. So it's fine.
And I don't think that's a sustainable way to kind of move forward as well. I
Yeah.
think I think it's important to make conscious and mindful decisions for yourself on an everyday basis. We're not saying your entire wardrobe needs to be 100% upcycled, but obviously, as in when you want, like, you want a new pair of jeans or you want a new shirt, if there is a more sustainable option, then go for that and make sure you take care of it so that you don't have to buy another one in the next 2 years.
Absolutely. Take care of your products and they will stay with you forever. And having said that, also, like buying a designer piece, I don't think it's a bad thing. Buy a designer piece if you wish, if you will, and if you want to. But then make sure you reuse it. Like how our movie stars are now reusing their clothes that they wore for their weddings and stuff again and again. So it's a good example that they are setting. You're done with it, fine, pass it over. send it to your sister, your brother, anybody else who can then wear it. Even that is sustainability. So it's not that sustainability just comes from basic fabrics and stuff. Get your expensive stuff, but use it till the time you can. Pass it over and keep going on with it.
Thank you so much for doing this, Jhelum. It's been really fun chatting with
Same
you.
here, Akanksha. It's really nice talking to you again.